We're delighted that you're here, gentlemen.
Thank you very much. First, I want to thank you, Chairman, for being our partner on this legislation. So I want to thank you particularly. I want to thank the Rules Committee. And I want to thank your staff for being absolutely just diligent in helping us craft this first in its generation type of TPA that gives us so many more powers here in Congress. And it's because of the diligence of you and your staff that we have what I would call the best TPA that we've ever crafted before. The question for us today is, it's really pretty simple. Is America going to shape the global economy, or is it going to shape us? That's really kind of what's going on here. 95% of the world's consumers, they don't live in this country. They live in other countries. So if we want to create more jobs in America, we need to make more things here and sell them there. 1 out of 5 jobs, 1 out of every 5 jobs in America already depends on trade. It's actually a pretty good thing because they pay more. They pay on average 18% more. And while the world's been moving full steam ahead, we are actually standing still. This is the problem. We haven't completed a trade agreement in years. And in the global economy, if you're standing still, you are falling behind. Because other countries, they're already going around the world negotiating trade agreements without us. That's the point here. This isn't a game where we just get to hit the pause button and no one else plays. This is where we have already been hitting the pause button, doing nothing, while the rest of the world has been spinning around and other countries are going around getting better trade agreements for themselves. They're tearing down barriers for their products and putting up barriers on our products. Let me give you an example. Between 2000 and 2010, the countries of East Asia negotiated 48 trade agreements. We were a party to just 2 of those agreements. As a result, our share of their imports fell by 42%. If you just look at the TPP partners, 10 years ago, we were the #1 trading partner. Now we're number 4. China's number 1. China's negotiating trade agreements all over the world. So the rules of the global economy, they are being written. There's no question about that. The question is, who's going to write the rules? Are we going to write the rules by getting an agreement to get other countries to play by our rules, to rise to our standards, or is China going to write the rules, particularly in Asia, to meet their wishes? That will not work well for us as a country. This is why H.R. 1314, the Trade Act, would establish TPA or Trade Promotion Authority. There's a lot of confusion. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time. I have rarely seen this much confusion surrounding an issue. There's a lot of confusion about what exactly TPA is. Let's get right to it. TPA is not a trade deal. It's a process for negotiating trade deals. Why would we care about the process? Because a good process gets us a good result. TPA will give us the leverage that we need to win a fair deal for the American worker. Because when other countries know the deal that they agreed to is the deal that Congress will vote on, then they will put their best deal, their best offers on the table. If a country is negotiating with us and they feel that they're negotiating with 536 people, one at a time, they're not going to give us a good offer. Here's how it works. Congress says to the president, when you submit a trade deal, we'll give it an up or down vote on 3 conditions. First, you've got to pursue specific negotiating objectives, 150 of them. Mr. Sessions, we just added another one dealing with immigration, along with Mr. King from Iowa, so that you cannot put changes in immigration laws in a trade agreement. So Congress is saying what can go into an agreement, what needs to go in an agreement, and what cannot go into an agreement. Second, you've got to regularly consult with Congress. Let us read the negotiating text. Let's see what other countries are offering. Give us regular briefings on the talk. Let us attend the negotiating rounds. And on behalf of Mr. Zinke from Montana, we actually went another step further, which is if we ourselves as members of Congress, because we're in session or whatever reason, can't attend a negotiating round, now we can actually send people on our behalf, send representatives on our behalf to do that. Third, most importantly, this bill requires the president to make the text of every trade agreement public for 60 days before he even signs off on it. 60 days. This has never been done before. So that everyone in America can see what exactly is being discussed. So the American people can read it for themselves. It's the first time we've ever put that kind of a requirement in law. And at the end of the day, Congress gets the final say-so. No trade deal goes in effect unless Congress affirmatively votes on it. No fast track, nothing. It's a bill. Congress has to pass the bill for it to become law, to go into effect. So Congress holds the keys to the outcome of this process. Now, I understand that a lot of our members do not trust this administration. I share that concern. That's precisely why I support this bill. TPA puts Congress in the driver's seat. Mr. Chairman, the world is watching. They are watching this vote. They are watching what we are doing. They are watching to see whether or not America is still America or not. Is America leading? Is America confident? Is America going to engage? Or are we in retreat? If we don't do this, we will send the wrong signal to the world that we are not reliable. But if we do establish TPA, we will show the world that America is once again taking the lead. American leadership is at the heart of all of these bills. I want to just mention the other ones we're talking about here. H.R. 1295, the Trade Preferences Extension Act, would reauthorize crucial programs like AGOA, GSP, HELP in Haiti. All of these programs would strengthen our ties with our friends in the developing world and show them that free enterprise is the best path to prosperity. And finally, H.R. 644, something that the gentlelady from New York mentioned, Trade Facilitation and Trade Enforcement Act. We need to clean up our trade enforcement. We've got laws on the books that say you can't anti-dump, that say that you can't dump unfairly into our market or transship through other countries, but we really don't do the right job of enforcing those laws, and we don't enforce them on a timely basis. We need to fix that. We need to modernize our customs enforcement and facilitate the flow of American trade. Trade agreements are only as good as our willingness to enforce our trade laws. That's why this bill will make sure that free trade is coupled with strong enforcement so that it's fair. All of these bills would strengthen America. I urge my colleagues to support them, and I just want to, again, thank you for your leadership and your co-authorship of this very important piece of legislation. It's about once a decade when Congress does this, and if we pass this moment, then we are sending exactly the wrong signals to the rest of the world, and we are ceding the playing field to other countries that don't necessarily share our values. We are giving them the pen to write the rules of the global economy, which is not in our interest. And besides that, we need more jobs. I mean, the economy is flat, 0.7% negative growth last quarter. We can do better than that. We need more customers. We need to open up markets. Heck, in Asia alone, 3.2 billion people will be in the middle class in 15 years. These are new customers for our products. Get rid of trade barriers. That means we can keep our jobs here, make our products here, and send them over there and get sales. This is, in my opinion, a no-brainer. I know Mr. Levin's not going to say the same thing, but it's a real moment for Congress. And I'm pleased that it's bipartisan. I'm pleased that we're doing this on a bipartisan basis. Every president has either had or sought this since FDR. Why deny this one this? I yield.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. Powerful.